How many times have you thought about this by now? Are you actually doing well when it comes to money? Or are you just comforting yourself by looking at people who are doing worse than you? Do you ever open your banking app at night and think, where do I stand compared to people my age? Am I doing well? Am I doing badly? Am I normal? Or am I behind? Then you open social media. One person is on vacation. Another just bought a new car. Someone renovated their kitchen. Someone else is posting, things are going well. And the same question hits you every time. How are they paying for all of this? And why don't I feel that relaxed? That's exactly what this video is for. Today, we're just pulling back the curtain. We're going to look at what the money stats of an average person actually look like. How much they earn, how much they spend, how much debt they carry, how much they save, how secure they think they are, and how much of that feeling of security is actually real. Some of these numbers might make you feel better. Others might hit you like a slap in the face. But by the end of this video, you'll know one thing clearly. Are you actually doing well? Or are you just living inside a financial life that gets sold to you as normal? And this video is going to give you one more thing. It won't just show you the average. It'll also show you where beating the average actually begins. At this point, I need your support. Like the video and subscribe. If you've done the 2 clicks, let's begin. Level 1. At the first level, you don't look bad from the outside. A paycheck comes in, you go to work, your card still works, and this is what people tell themselves here. I'm not in bad shape. Maybe you really aren't, but the first shock starts right here. In the first quarter of 2026, the median weekly earnings of a full-time worker in the US were $1,235. That works out to a little over $64,000 a year in gross income. On paper, that number doesn't look bad. In fact, in a lot of people's minds, it sounds normal, maybe even decent. And this is exactly where the trick of level 1 begins. Gross income and the life you actually live are not the same thing. Once taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and state deductions hit, that clean-looking paycheck turns into a much tighter life than you expected. The number looks stable on paper, but it does not feel that wide in real life. Level 1 is this. The income is there, but the power is not. Because power is not just earning money. It's keeping enough of it. It's having room to make decisions. It's being able to survive not just this month, but the next hit too. And the first illusion of the average person is this. They mistake income for security. But a paycheck is not always security. Sometimes it's just the rhythm that keeps you moving inside a system that never stops. The move to the next level starts here. The question is no longer, how much do I make? The real question is, does this paycheck actually create room in my life, or does it just keep me spinning? Level 2. Now it starts to feel more familiar. You don't feel bad on payday, but the rest of the month slowly takes that feeling away. Rent or the mortgage, the car, insurance, groceries, your phone, internet, subscriptions, a couple of unexpected expenses. Then the end of the month shows up, and the biggest voice in your head at this level sounds like this. I'm not some reckless spender, so why does money still disappear? The answer is more structural than you think. In 2024, the average U.S. household spent $78,535 a year, which is about $6,545 a month. Around $2,189 of that went to housing, and around $1,110 went to transportation. And that's before you fully open up groceries, healthcare, kids, and all the smaller leaks that drain the rest. This is where level 2 really begins. It's not just that you're managing money badly, it's that the basic cost of life is already heavy. And this is why people keep repeating the same defense here. Life is just expensive. True, but incomplete. Because the real problem isn't just that life is expensive. It's that money arrives in one clean number, and your expenses tear it apart piece by piece. One paycheck comes in, but the system processes it faster than you do. So the average person looks stable from the outside while carrying the same feeling inside. I'm surviving, but I'm not moving forward. And the solution at this level is not, I need more money, right away. First, you need to see the raw flow. Nothing gets better until you clearly see where your money is actually going. Level 3. This level is sneaky, because some indicators look good. Your credit score isn't terrible. Your bills usually get paid. The system doesn't label you as financially broken. According to current Experian data, the average FICO score in the US is 713. Technically, that still falls in the good credit range. So the average person is not completely falling apart. They're still moving through the system. And that's exactly why this level is dangerous. Because this is where people start thinking they're doing fine financially. Then another number shows up underneath. By the end of 2025, credit card balances in the US had reached $1.28 trillion. That means this isn't just a personal problem. It's a pressure spread across the entire system. Inside the average life, credit card debt is still one of the main sources of financial fragility. This is level 3. From the outside, you're still valid. But on the inside, you're dependent. Your credit score can be good, but your freedom can still be weak. If your card balance keeps rolling, if interest is quietly stealing from you every month, and if you normalize that by saying, everyone lives like this, then you are not actually strong. You are just accepted by the system. Mistaking looking acceptable for being strong is a huge mistake. To move to the next level, the first thing you have to do is break the rhythm of high-interest debt. Because trying to invest while expensive debt is still draining you is the same as thinking you're moving forward on a treadmill. Level 4. This is the most discouraging level, because by now, you're not completely messy anymore. Maybe you have a retirement account. Maybe you're saving a little. Maybe you even look more financially aware than a lot of the people around you. And still, you don't feel calm. The feeling sounds like this. I'm doing some things right, so why do I still not feel strong? There are numbers behind that feeling. According to BEA data, the U.S. personal saving rate at the start of 2026 was roughly in the 4.0% to 4.5% range. That means the average person is only putting away a very small share of income. Gallup also found that only around 6 out of 10 Americans even have money in a retirement account. That means a large part of the population still hasn't truly built a future, even if they look financially functional on the surface. This is where level 4 begins. At this level, you are not bad, but you are not strong enough either. There is saving, but there is no escape. There is discipline, but the momentum is weak. A lot of people fool themselves here, because saying, I'm saving, feels comforting. But if the number stays small, the system stays bigger. And the solution here is not just be a little more careful. You have to stop treating saving as whatever is left over after the month is done. It has to become the first move, not, if there's anything left, I'll save it, but I pay myself first. Level 5. Now the game changes, because at this point, income stops being the main thing. Now the base matters. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 survey of consumer finances, the median household net worth in the U.S. was about $192,900. By age, it breaks down roughly like this. Under 35, around $39,000. Ages 35 to 44, about $135,600. Ages 45 to 54, about $247,200. Ages 55 to 64, about $364,500. And ages 65 to 74, about $409,900. And here's what actually matters about those numbers. Two people can have the same income, but if their net worth is different, the strength of their lives is different too. One person freezes when an unexpected expense appears. The other gets hit, but doesn't break. One panics at the thought of losing a job. The other can buy time. This is where net worth stops being a finance word and becomes real power. This level teaches you something important. Sometimes what calms a person down is not earning more. It's standing on a thicker foundation. And most people realize this too late. Because income is visible. Net worth is invisible. But the invisible part is usually what changes life. Money should not just sit in a bank account. It should turn into something that gives you resilience, time, and options. At this point, the real question becomes, if the paycheck stopped, would my life collapse? Level 6. Now we've reached the most uncomfortable part. Because the question is no longer, what does the average person do? Now it's, where is the average person actually headed? And the answer is not very comforting. At the start of 2026, the average retired worker in the U.S. was receiving about $2,071 a month in Social Security. That may sound better than older numbers, but that still does not automatically mean comfort. Not when housing, healthcare, transportation, and aging itself cost what they cost in 2026. So the average path offers you something like this. Work. Don't completely ruin yourself. Save a little. Look financially respectable. And maybe reach an older age that still doesn't feel all that secure. From the outside, that sounds reasonable. But when you really look at it, it's still a fragile life. And this is where level 6 begins. When you stop treating average as a target and start treating it as a warning sign. Because the real question changes here. Instead of asking, what does the average person do? You start asking, where am I going to break away from the average line? And this is the solution side of the video too. Beating the average does not require some hidden formula. Higher income, a higher saving rate, clean cash flow instead of revolving debt, a growing base instead of a visible paycheck, and small, repeated differences in behavior. That's the real game. Not one giant leap, but beating the average in several small areas over and over again. Because those small differences eventually turn into a huge gap. Now stop for a second and be honest with yourself. Are you actually struggling because you're doing terribly? Or are you struggling because you're living inside a financial life that gets sold to you as normal? Because this is the real punchline of the whole video. The average person's financial life looks more organized from the outside than it actually is on the inside. There's income, there's spending, there's credit, there's some saving, but real freedom is usually missing. And maybe the most important thing you need to hear is this. These numbers are not destiny. They are just a picture of the average. So if you're below average in some areas right now, the game is not over. And if you're above average in some areas, this is not the time to get comfortable. Because the real point is not being slightly better than everyone else. The real point is whether your structure is actually strong. That's why this video was never just about curiosity. It was about a mirror. So you can see what normal actually looks like. And then decide for yourself, do I want a normal life? Or do I want to build a stronger one? Because the real money ladder question is still the same. What level are you on right now? And even more importantly, do you plan to stay there?